Being alive after so many mistakes is a blessing to correct the wrong. Climate change refers to long-term alterations in temperature patterns and weather conditions on Earth. It is primarily caused by the increase in greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, CO2, methane, CH4, and nitrous oxide, N2O, in the Earth's atmosphere. This phenomenon, often referred to as global warming, is a result of human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas, deforestation, and industrial processes. The excessive emission of greenhouse gases traps heat within the Earth's atmosphere, leading to a rise in global average temperatures. This increase in temperature has far-reaching consequences for the planet's climate system, ecosystems, and human societies. Impacts of climate change are varied and can be observed across different regions of the world. Some of the notable effects include rising temperatures. Global average temperatures have been increasing, leading to heat waves and heat-related illnesses. Rising temperatures also contribute to the melting of glaciers and polar ice, which contribute to sea level rise. Sea level rise. As temperatures rise, glaciers and ice caps melt, causing an increase in global sea levels. Rising sea levels pose a significant threat to coastal communities, increasing the risk of flooding and erosion. Extreme weather events. Climate change intensifies extreme weather events such as hurricanes, cyclones, droughts, and heavy rainfall. These events can lead to severe property damage, loss of life, and disruption of ecosystems and agricultural systems. Changes in precipitation patterns. Climate change affects rainfall patterns, leading to changes in regional climates. Some areas may experience increased precipitation and flooding, while others may face drought and water scarcity. Ecosystem disruption. Many plant and animal species struggle to adapt to the rapid changes in their habitats caused by climate change. This disruption can lead to species extinction, altered migration patterns, and imbalances in ecosystems. Agricultural impacts. Climate change poses challenges for food production and security. Shifts in temperature and rainfall patterns can reduce crop yields, harm livestock, and impact fisheries, leading to food shortages and increased food prices. Addressing climate change requires global cooperation and the adoption of sustainable practices. Efforts are being made to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by transitioning to renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, promoting sustainable land management, and implementing policies to mitigate climate change. International agreements like the Paris Agreement aim to limit global warming by keeping the average temperature increase well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels and pursuing efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. These agreements encourage countries to set emissions reduction targets, promote adaptation measures, and provide financial assistance to developing nations. Individual actions, such as reducing personal carbon footprints, supporting renewable energy, and advocating for climate-conscious policies, can also contribute to mitigating climate change and its impacts. Tell me more. Certainly. Here are some additional key points and information about climate change. Greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is a natural process that helps regulate the Earth's temperature. It occurs when certain gases in the atmosphere trap heat from the sun, preventing it from escaping back into space. Without the greenhouse effect, the Earth would be too cold to support life. However, human activities have significantly increased the concentration of greenhouse gases, leading to an enhanced greenhouse effect and global warming. Carbon dioxide (CO2) emissions. Carbon dioxide is the primary greenhouse gas emitted by human activities. The burning of fossil fuels, such as coal, oil, and natural gas, for energy production and transportation is the largest source of CO2 emissions. Deforestation and land use changes also contribute to increased CO2 levels by reducing the Earth's capacity to absorb and store carbon. Methane, CH4, and nitrous oxide, N2O, methane and nitrous oxide are potent greenhouse gases with higher warming potentials than carbon dioxide. Methane is released during the production and transport of coal, oil, and natural gas. It is also emitted by livestock and other agricultural practices, as well as from the decay of organic waste in landfills. Nitrous oxide is mainly produced by agricultural and industrial activities and the burning of fossil fuels. Feedback loops. Climate change can trigger feedback loops that further amplify its impacts. For example, as temperatures rise, permafrost, frozen soil, begins to thaw, releasing large amounts of methane and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which accelerates global warming. Another example is the reduction of sea ice in the Arctic, which decreases the Earth's albedo, reflectivity, causing more sunlight to be absorbed and leading to further warming. Ocean acidification. Increased levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere not only contribute to global warming but also lead to ocean acidification. When CO2 dissolves in seawater, it reacts with water to form carbonic acid, which lowers the pH of the ocean. Ocean acidification has detrimental effects on marine ecosystems, especially on coral reefs and shell-forming organisms like mollusks and certain plankton species. Climate refugees. Climate change can cause displacement and migration of populations due to rising sea levels, increased frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, desertification, and water scarcity. These climate refugees face challenges in finding new homes and adapting to different environments, leading to social, economic, and political pressures. Mitigation and adaptation. Mitigation refers to actions taken to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and limit the extent of climate change. This includes transitioning to renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, promoting sustainable transportation, and adopting sustainable land use practices. Adaptation focuses on preparing for and managing the impacts of climate change. This involves strategies such as building resilient infrastructure, implementing drought and flood management measures, and developing early warning systems for extreme weather events. It is important to note that while the scientific consensus supports the reality of climate change and its anthropogenic causes, there may be ongoing debates and discussions on specific details and projections within the scientific community. However, the overwhelming consensus is that urgent action is needed to mitigate the impacts of climate change and work towards a sustainable future. What preventative measures can we take? There are various preventative measures that individuals, communities, businesses, and governments can take to address climate change and reduce its impacts. Here are some key strategies. Transition to renewable energy. Increasing the use of renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal power can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Supporting the development and adoption of renewable energy technologies through policy incentives, research funding, and investment can accelerate this transition. Improve energy efficiency. Enhancing energy efficiency in buildings, transportation, and industrial processes can reduce energy consumption and associated emissions. This can be achieved through measures such as energy-efficient appliances, improved insulation, efficient transportation systems, and optimized manufacturing processes. Promote sustainable transportation. Encouraging the use of public transportation, walking, cycling, and electric vehicles can help reduce emissions from the transportation sector. Governments can invest in infrastructure for sustainable transportation and provide incentives for the adoption of electric and hybrid vehicles. Protect and restore ecosystems. Preserving forests, wetlands, and other natural ecosystems is crucial for carbon sequestration and biodiversity. Forest conservation and restoration efforts help to absorb and store carbon dioxide. Additionally, protecting coastal ecosystems like mangroves can help mitigate the impacts of rising sea levels and storm surges. Support sustainable agriculture. Promoting sustainable agricultural practices, such as organic farming, agroforestry, and precision agriculture can reduce greenhouse gas emissions, enhance soil health, and improve water management. Sustainable agriculture methods can also increase resilience to climate change impacts. Reduce food waste. Minimizing food waste is important as it reduces the greenhouse gas emissions associated with food production, transportation, and disposal. Individuals can reduce food waste by planning meals, proper storage, and supporting initiatives that redistribute excess food to those in need. Implement carbon pricing. Carbon pricing mechanisms, such as carbon taxes or cap-and-trade systems, can provide economic incentives to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. These mechanisms put a price on carbon emissions, encouraging businesses and industries to seek cleaner and more sustainable alternatives. Enhance climate resilience. Building resilience to climate change impacts is crucial. This involves developing climate-resilient infrastructure, implementing early warning systems, and integrating climate change considerations into urban planning and disaster risk management. Investing in climate adaptation strategies helps communities and ecosystems better withstand the changing climate. Educate and raise awareness. Public education and awareness campaigns play a vital role in fostering sustainable behaviors and inspiring collective action. By increasing understanding about climate change and its consequences, individuals and communities can make informed choices and support initiatives aimed at mitigating climate change. Support international cooperation. Climate change is a global challenge that requires international cooperation. Encouraging and participating in international agreements, such as the Paris Agreement, and providing financial and technological support to developing nations can help achieve collective climate goals. Remember that everyone has a role to play in combating climate change. By making sustainable choices in our daily lives, advocating for climate-conscious policies, and supporting initiatives that prioritize environmental sustainability, we can contribute to a more sustainable and resilient future. Certainly. Here are some more preventative measures that can be taken to address climate change. Promote circular economy. Adopting a circular economy approach aims to minimize waste and maximize resource efficiency. This involves reducing consumption, reusing and recycling materials, and designing products for durability and recyclability. By reducing waste and the need for raw materials, the carbon footprint of production processes can be reduced. Invest in research and development. Increased investment in research and development, R&D, can drive innovation in clean technologies and sustainable practices. Governments, businesses, and academic institutions can allocate funding and resources to support R&D efforts focused on renewable energy, energy storage, carbon capture and storage, and other climate mitigation and adaptation technologies. Encourage sustainable consumption. Individuals can make a difference by adopting sustainable consumption habits. This includes making conscious choices to reduce personal energy consumption, opting for environmentally friendly products, supporting local and sustainable businesses, and practicing mindful consumption. Strengthen building codes and standards. Governments can enforce stricter building codes and standards to promote energy-efficient designs and construction practices. This can include requirements for insulation, efficient HVAC systems, and renewable energy integration in new and existing buildings. Enhance water management. Climate change can lead to water scarcity and increased water stress in many regions. Implementing sustainable water management practices such as water conservation, efficient irrigation systems, and watershed management can help preserve water resources and reduce energy consumption associated with water treatment and distribution. Promote green and sustainable finance, encouraging the integration of environmental, social, and governance (ESG) criteria in investment decisions can steer capital towards sustainable projects and businesses. Financial institutions can develop green financing mechanisms and offer incentives for sustainable investments. Support community resilience. Empowering local communities to adapt and build resilience to climate change is crucial. This can be achieved through community-based initiatives, such as community gardens, renewable energy cooperatives, and education programs that focus on sustainable living and climate adaptation strategies. Reduce industrial emissions. Industries are significant contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. Implementing cleaner production technologies, improving energy efficiency in manufacturing processes, and adopting carbon capture and storage technologies can help reduce emissions from industrial activities. Encourage sustainable urban planning. Cities have a significant carbon footprint, but they also offer opportunities for sustainable development. Encouraging compact and transit-oriented urban planning, green infrastructure, and promoting access to public spaces and public transportation can reduce emissions and enhance the quality of urban life. Foster international collaboration. Climate change is a global issue that requires collaboration among nations. Governments, businesses, and organizations should work together to share knowledge, technologies, and best practices. International cooperation can help accelerate the global transition to a low-carbon and sustainable future. Remember, tackling climate change requires a multifaceted approach with actions at individual, community, corporate, and governmental levels. The collective effort of individuals and institutions worldwide is necessary to mitigate the impacts of climate change and create a sustainable future for generations to come. Thanks for watching.